Wanted to come to you through Facebook Live again. Today's topic is going to be the dream team approach. There is no I in team, and I'm coming to you from my home office. And I'm also going to zoom in on my partner in crime here. This is Otto Ennis, who's clearly riveted by the topic. But anyways, he's here giving me moral support. So the one of the things that I am most proud of at my clinic is our team approach, and I feel really passionate about it. And it's part of my vision to build on it and make sure that it always remains as a huge priority for us. So I will introduce myself in case you don't know me. Whoops, sorry about that. My name is Beth Ennis. I am a veterinarian. I graduated from Tufts in 2003, and I also am certified in veterinary acupuncture, also in veterinary Chinese herbal medicine, also in canine rehabilitation therapy, and also in veterinary spinal manipulation therapy, which is also in Massachusetts known as animal chiropractic care. I have additional trainings in Chinese food therapeutics, grief counseling, animal hospice care, and Western herbal medicine. And for me, just a fun focus of mine that I'm learning about now is medical astrology. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a history of how I started Sleepy Dog, and it will kind of, I'm hoping, show you how it has been shaped over time and become a team-oriented affair. When I graduated from veterinary school, I went into general practice and emergency medicine. And I did that for a year. And in the second year of my practice, I started to train in veterinary acupuncture. Over the years, I did a lot of general practice. I did some more emergency medicine, but mostly I evolved into general practice and acupuncture and herbal therapy. I did this in both small clinics and big hospitals, and I enjoyed it a lot. What started to happen is the call for my services as an acupuncturist, as an herbalist, was more strong, and so I started doing more and more of that, less and less of general practice, until it came to be that I was doing almost all acupuncture and herbal medicine. So when I was finally in the final parts of my general practice time, I was doing almost exclusively acupuncture at clinics, and I started to do house calls for my alternative medicine. So I would go to people's homes. I loved it. It was awesome. The animals were relaxed. The people were relaxed. It was nice and homey. I had a nice quality of life that I really enjoyed, and was kind of just a sole practitioner on the road. However, the universe had different plans, and I developed fibromyalgia, which is a chronic pain condition. And it became that the car was actually a literal pain in my neck. And so I had to figure out a way to get myself out of the car and into a healthier space. So I started to think on this, and I decided that I would rent a bricks and mortar facility. And my goal was to do it on my own. And I was just going to do the same type of thing that I did, but in a building. Um, so I ended up choosing a location in Arlington, where I still am, right on Mass Ave, which was ideal because my clients at that time were from surrounding towns. And we're right on Mass Ave, which is the main road that goes through Arlington. It is a little bit outside of East Arlington, so there's a nice amount of parking, which is important for my mobility challenged friends and my worried cats in their carriers. And there were also no steps, which was important to me because I didn't want any steps for any of my mobility challenged dogs. So when I got the space, it had been a lawyer's office, and so I converted the space into a couple of exam rooms, which we've since changed to 3 exam rooms. I was very obsessed and adamant that we were going to have good traction on the floors, so I actually put down an indoor-outdoor carpet, and that has been interesting because it is something that has been very helpful for my patients patients with mobility issues, but also very helpful for my patients who are worried and they come in the door. There's something about coming in the door and not kind of screeching to a halt on those linoleum floors that really can be comforting for many worried patients. I don't have any exam tables. Usually we have soft music playing, we have comfy chairs, we try to keep our voices quiet, and our goal is to have pretty low traffic in that space to be able to have it be less worrisome for a lot of animals. But without having to drive between patients and clients' homes, I do have more time to be able to spend with more patients. So that's really nice. Another thing that was really nice about getting a physical space is that over time I've been able to acquire more equipment. So I had my cold laser, which I use a lot with my acupuncture and my chiropractic, but we also now have a thermography unit. We have machines to run blood work. We have an x-ray machine. We have a whole lot more ability to carry inventory so that people can take home medicines when they come in. And we also have a platelet-rich plasma machine, and we have some other bells and whistles that I wouldn't have been able to have certainly if I was just in the home. So I was practicing and I was transitioning my practice from house calls to this physical space, this bricks and mortar space, and it was going fine. And then one of my clients asked me about massage therapy, and I said, no, I don't do that, but I do know someone who does. And so I started talking to a friend of a friend named Sam, and she said, sure, I'll come do some massage at your clinic, because she was certified in small animal massage. And that is the nurse Sam that we have today. She started coming 1 day a week, then she started coming 2 days a week, and now she's my full-time lady. So it turns out not only was Sam certified in small animal massage, but she's also a certified veterinary technician, which in our family, there goes Ada, in our part of the world, there is, that's the equivalent of a nurse. So we call them at Sleepy Dog veterinary nurses. She also is a Reiki master, is also trained in acupressure and Tuina therapy. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to get that dog. We're very worried about people coming to the door. So she brought all of these things with her and added some things as she went. So now that Sam was in my Sleepy Dog practice, we had more things that we could offer. But I'd like to tell you a little bit in general about what veterinary nurses do, and then I will tell you some other things that they do at Sleepy Dog. So veterinary nurses often are the person that will triage your pet when they come in if there is some kind of an emergency or some kind of urgent concern. They can take vitals like respiratory rate, heart rate, temperature. They often assess the gum color of the patient if we're concerned that there is any issues with breathing or the heart. And they often are the ones who are the first person to come into the room and take a history of what's been going on with your pet. Sometimes this is something that people undervalue, but a lot of times those questions that we ask over and over and over, we get different answers. And sometimes even when I go in as a follow-up, I get a little bit different of an answer because the person in the room has had time to think about what's been going on, and sometimes we'll come up with some more data points for us to use. Another thing that veterinary nurses do is they are super fantastic, particularly my veterinary nurses, at gentle and fear-free restraint. So if there is something that we need to do that is something that needs a little bit more assistance to, in order for me to get what I need to get done, excuse me, Toto Innes needs to go into the other room to see what is happening. There he goes. So say we need to do some kind of blood sampling or some kind of nail trim or some kind of anal gland expression or something that is just a little bit more scarier than the average thing, our nurses are the ones that know all the tricks on how to keep that animal still and calm. And there is a whole spectrum of ways to do this. At Sleepy Dog, we want everyone to be as happy coming back the second time as they, were the first time, hopefully more. And so the gentleness and the tricks that we use, whether they're acupressure, whether they're Reiki based, whether they are anticipating if someone would be more comfortable standing, sitting, laying down, all those things add up to make a really good experience for most pets. Veterinary nurses also do a fair amount of venipuncture, so drawing blood. They also are experts at running the laboratory machines or getting the samples to our outside lab. They also are the ones that are generally in charge of or assisting in taking radiographs or x-rays, and they also do a lot of maintenance of equipment in veterinary medicine. They are also in charge of prescription management and medicine administration, whether it's injections, fluids, pills, the lot of things. At Sleepy Dog, they also help to manage diet and medicine questions. They also have telemedicine services. Sam does massage tutorials, distance Reiki, and virtual nurse visits to help manage some of these things. She's also been a huge proponent of helping me research new modalities in terms of whether it's something that's going to be helpful in our practice or not. Um, Part of being in medicine is embracing the changes that come and figuring out what things are going to fit in our practice and what's not. Platelet rich plasma, our digitherm or thermography machine, and also now telemedicine. Um, Also, at Sleepy Dog, I place a huge value, and all my team members do, on continuing education. So, learning new skills and new facts along the way. And also, in this day and age, managing social media like Facebook and Instagram is a huge job. And so, Sam and now Emily also helps with these things. So after Sam joined, then came Chris. So Chris is my friend who started as a physical therapist for people and then became trained as a certified canine rehabilitation practitioner so that she could serve dogs and cats. We have worked together since we both worked at the Mass Vet Referral Hospital, and we've shared patients for many years. Chris had her own practice. Flow Dog, which is now part of the Angel Memorial System. And so when she was at Flow Dog, I would sometimes see patients there if I had to see patients in a facility, and it was really fun. Um, Chris does a lot of rehabilitation post surgery. So, after things like cruciate tears, after things like back surgeries, fracture repairs, total hip surgeries. She also manages a lot of geriatric patients with things like arthritis, also spinal issues. So, those dachshunds who have trouble in their back or the basset hounds. She is a huge help on keeping their quality of life fantastic. A lot of what she does also is incredibly enriching for our pets' brains and super fun. I always remark that when animals come to see me, it's all about staying calm and we're quiet and we're relatively still. And then when they come to see Chris, they have all these treats involved and they're walking over things and they're on balls and all this stuff. So it's a lot more fun and high energy. I feel that when I share my patients with Chris, they have the absolute best results. Whether it's her coming up with a plan for exercise at home, or the patients coming in more regularly to the clinic, or her to their home. I think that with a combination of acupuncture, chiropractic, and herbal medicine, and the physical rehabilitation, they just shine. And I also find that I think that the people in their lives have a lot of fun because you're constantly having to be inventive about how to make them do these exercises or what surfaces to practice things on. During our COVID-19 crisis, since we are in a kind of curbside and lower traffic situation, Chris is also continuing to see her patients at home. So she's even more creative, and she's done that for years. Another person who has become part of our team that you may or may not even know about is who we affectionately call Ghost Mish. Mish started as a veterinary receptionist for us, and that was when we needed some more help starting to manage more and more tech things, computer things, administration things. And she has actually moved to Texas, but keeps doing a bunch of our tasks for us, including a lot of bookkeeping, which helps me immensely, human resources, now that we have enough people to have a human resource team or head, and also a lot of administration management. She also is the key for our website design and management, and thank goodness for her. So even if you don't see her, she is often at work behind the scenes. Now we also have Marlena, who's our client services person extraordinaire, and Emily, who is doubles as client services and veterinary nurse, with also some big interest in behavior and physical rehabilitation. So stay tuned for that. So these guys both do a lot of scheduling of appointments, collecting records from our referring vets and our veterinary specialists, collecting new client and new patient information, history taking. Often Sam and I ask Marlena and Emily to be in the rooms to do our intake exams, our intake questions, finding out about everything that's been going on from home. I think this is really important because I think that it gives everyone on the team insight into why the patient is there, what we're doing for the patient, and what questions there are, and any gaps in any service that we could be providing. So that's a really important thing that I've learned along the way and that I really value in what they do. Marlena has also recently figured out a whole system for us to be able to take payment virtually. So now during our COVID-19 systems, we have a link that we send you so that you can pay without having to have any social interaction physically. Um, Emily and Marlena also interface with insurance companies and help get all those documents that you need to the right places, answering all sorts of questions on the phone, what we offer, who we are, how to pick up medicines in this funny time, when to schedule appointments, serving as a liaison for you as our client. And then writing and editing informational content that goes on our blogs, on our website, in a lot of our communications, and developing systems for workflow and helping to develop the clinic vision. One of the things that I'm really, really pleased with is how my whole team has wonderful ideas of how to make flows better in our clinic, how to make communication better with our clients, and how to make the experience better for our patients. I also think that having a whole team envisioning a future and the different things that we can do with Sleepy Dog for our patients is incredibly exciting. And we get so many great ideas having multiple people weigh in. We also, as a member of our team, have Lori, who has many years of experience in the mental health field. And she's an expert at grief counseling and caregiver support. Because we serve a lot of older animals, we find that these are times, even before our current COVID-19 situation, where people are under a lot of stress. People doubt their decisions. They are second guessing if they're doing the right thing. Maybe they have lost a pet, and that pet was certainly a huge, valuable family member, and also a great, great friend. That pet may have been through a lot of things with that person, be it the birth of a baby, the death of a parent, a divorce, a breakup, a move, and these things can really become overwhelming. So we're so glad to have Lori be available for individual support for people. And also during normal times, she also has a monthly grief support group so that people can share their experiences and lean on each other during these really tough times. And in 2019, we invited Dr. Jenny to join our team. Jenny has been a general practitioner for many years. She also graduated from Tufts. She's also been doing acupuncture for many years and actually has her master's in traditional Chinese veterinary medicine. This is like a really big deal in our field. She teaches a lot at the Chi Institute in Florida, where she studied, and she's now seeing many patients at Sleepy Dog Vet. During this funny time, it's just me there, but we'll get her back as soon as our systems can support this. She's really expert at food therapeutics and herbalism, and because Jenny and I have trained through different programs and with different teachers, we have a different approach to our medicine, which is very exciting to share with each other. Because if I don't have an idea or am stumped on how to approach something, she's going to have a different idea of and a different approach, and vice versa. And so it's a very fun to practice together. So I'm really glad that she's part of our team. And then finally, we have another member of our team, Jenna, who's one of my great friends and also served as a relief receptionist for many months. In between when Mish was our receptionist and having Marlena and Emily. She actually has a background in disability studies and a master of social work. Veterinary social work is something that is relatively new in terms of awareness and is a really, really important of our field. Veterinary medicine can be a really tough field to be in. We have a lot of our own mental health struggles that have been coming to light more and more over the past decade. And we have to be very, very careful about how we take care of ourselves and how we take care of our lives. So, veterinary social work in general revolves around animal assisted intervention, so therapy dogs, and using animals as a means of therapeutic support. It focuses a lot about the link between human and animal violence. And so, this is something that I feel like doesn't necessarily relate directly to Sleepy Dog, but is a very incredibly important thing in general. And the area that I feel Jenna brings the most to us, in particular at Sleepy Dog, is ways of combating and preventing compassion fatigue and conflict management. As people who are attracted to a field of service and attracted to a field of helping vulnerable populations, we tend to be a group that is in need of better self-care regimens and in need of learning communication skills that we may or may not have been able to learn in vet school, where most of what we did was learn medicine. I would say very similarly for nursing school. Um, Veterinary social work also focuses on animal related grief and bereavement. And while Lori focuses more on that, I would say Jenna helps us to figure out how we can support our clients better by understanding the different psychologies of people and how we can support ourselves better as a team by taking care of ourselves and learning new ways of communication. So it's very exciting to have Jenna with us. And so, how do we all come together? I've kind of described the different ways that the different roles that we have, but I would say that we all come together with a common goal, and that's to support our patients and support our client from all the different angles. So, by having several team members with helping with all of our patients, we can achieve better care. For example, everyone in our team has different skills. You certainly don't want me scheduling appointments. If anybody's been at the front desk when I come in and swoop in and say, oh, yeah, I can definitely see a patient during that time. And then the next thing you know, somebody has to wait. So it's better to keep me out of that. Marlena is incredibly organized, as is Emily, at scheduling, anticipating different needs, and coordinating care. You also, if you come into Sleepy Dog, you want Sam and you want Emily holding your pet and restraining your pet because they are really, really good at it. And they are reading the animal's body language. They are assessing whether the animal is starting to get stressed. They're assessing if we need to change our plan. They are helping to get all of the blood work that we need to get for our special tests that we're running, and helping with x-rays. When we take x-rays, we go really, really slow, and we have certain ways that we like to do it so that the animal is not stressed. We also do a fair amount of sedated procedures, so we need our nurses to help with that and to monitor our patients during those procedures. And what I think that everyone wants me doing is taking my time and devoting it to feeling my animals, talking with my clients, thinking about things, researching and analyzing how I can make that animal's health better. So, if all of us can communicate and advance different parts of the pet's medical health, I think we are in it for the best reasons. I don't think I see any questions here. But I'm just going to double check. I might be on the wrong screen. Nope, I don't think so. The other thing that I just wanted to touch on is that we do have a new telemedicine app that we are rolling out this week. We are working with a company called Televet, and they've been doing telemedicine for quite some time now. And we're excited to work with them because we feel like they have made telemedicine a much more accessible means of communication. So, over the next week or two or three, we're going to be experimenting with how to use that to best support our clients and our patients. We can use video in it. We can continue to do our virtual consults between Nurse Sam and myself on how to help people through manage nutrition, manage lifestyle, manage medicines at home, whether to bring the pet in for curbside service either with us or their regular veterinarian or perhaps an emergency clinic. We can help with all of that. It also, the Televet app also has a potential to work with an instant messaging. So it is not available at all times, but you can set up to have basically a chat conversation with one of us. Right now, we're limiting the hours to our typical telemedicine times, which are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from 3 to 5, and Thursday from 1 to 3. But I suspect as we get rolling and understand more about how we can use this to help our patients and our clients, we will probably have that more available. If you are interested in it, you can go to the App Store and download Televet, and you can also set up your patient or your pet, including a beautiful picture of them. And we can work more on that as we go. So, any other questions, please let us know. You can reach us by phone the days that we are in Sleepy Dog, which these days is Tuesday through Friday. The number is 781-643-2162. Or you can email us at dreamteam@sleepydog.vet for more information. And just sending out extra love to everyone, hoping that everyone is doing well during this time of seclusion, and know that we are here for you and your pets. And any questions, just give us a call or shoot us an email. Okay, thanks. Take care, everybody.